Lakers down by 1. 5 seconds. Luka's got it. Teardrop. Tipped up and in. LeBron James.
LeBron buries the Pacers again. Coming up on NBA Today, did we see the game of the year in Indy? And what did we learn regarding LA's resilience? But we begin with one of the best games of the year that started off as a terrible, awful, no good day for LeBron James, who entered the night with 1,282 consecutive games with at least 10 points, one of the most impressive streaks in sports. And guys, it was in jeopardy throughout this one.
I really thought it was over.
I mean, he'd only tallied 2 points on 0 of 5 shooting in the first half. That's his first time without a made field goal in the first half since 2010. Woo. But then at halftime, he went back on the floor before the rest of the Lakers were out there getting some shots up. You know, he knew he had to get himself out of the funk, and he slowly
just see the ball go through the rim a couple
times. He would make an impact still in the third. You know, 3 guys surrounding him here.
Even him one-on-one.
And then off of that, Dorian Finney-Smith, wide open, corner pocket.
That's Jared Vanderbilt, plus 24 in his minutes. No scoring, but plus 24.
Next Lakers possession, 2 guys come for LeBron, and this time moving around again. And Gabe Vincent capitalizes.
Swing, swing.
LeBron with 3 points on 0 of 6 shooting, but did have 7 assists through 3 quarters.
He hit that with 0 field goals, and I was like, he has 1 quarter. I don't think he's going to get there.
Well, with the double-digit streak in jeopardy, LeBron, he turned it up in the 4th.
Finally.
He's getting there.
Up and under. And then the wing jumper up to 7 points.
And suddenly LeBron's about to be in takeover mode.
Yeah, after some free throws, 9 points, drives baseline here. Whew, exhale, the double-digit streak lives on. Another game. Meanwhile, this was close, under 5 to play. Luka Dončić.
You've seen that before, huh?
Yeah, the catch and shoot. Oh, wait, who's he talking? I know
Oh,
he doesn't
some
have a
words.
crossword for Rick Carlisle.
Oh, no, of course not. Then less than a minute later.
History, right?
A little bit.
Luka, 34 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists. Now under a minute left. Tyrese Haliburton blows by Luka here. 16 points, season high, 18 assists for Haliburton.
To be fair, he blows by a lot of people.
Exactly, but I had to point that out.
Very quick.
15 seconds left. Benedict Mathurin misses the 3.
Not a good
Pacers
shot.
had a timeout, didn't call one. Lakers in transition with a chance to win it. LeBron gets it to Dončić.
You didn't give the foul. You didn't give the foul.
And LeBron's there for the tip-in.
Jarace Walker, what are you doing on that? Blocks out.
LeBron saying it counts. Haliburton can't believe it. Another look. You see that LeBron clearly gets it off in time. The Lakers win a thriller to snap a 3-game losing streak. Here's LeBron and Luka after the win. Yeah, box out.
Oh, my God.
To be honest, I didn't know how it felt because I was just trying to see if I was trying to look at the jumbo trying to see if I got it off. But, you know, this team has been playing extremely well in the Pacers, man, and we haven't been the last few games, so it was great to come into a hostile environment and get a win in that fashion. One thing about my game, I can always do other things on the floor to help our team win, even when I'm not shooting the ball well.
We fought. They're a very hot team right now. They won 5 in a row. So especially playing here itself, you know, they got the crowd going in the last quarter. So it was a really tough game. Like I said, they're a hot team, but we managed to win through a lot.
So Lakers were clicking offensively last night after scuffling a bit during their 3-7 stretch entering the game. They scored 13 more points per 100 possessions and shot 6 percentage points better from the field. All right, Cassidy Hubbard in for Malika Andrews. I'm joined by Brian Windhorst, Ramona Shelburne, and the new author of The Wonder Boy, out this week, Tim MacMahon. We're so proud of you. We got a lot to get into, and we'll touch on your book in a bit, but a much-needed win for LA against one of the hottest teams in the NBA. Brian, what stood out to you watching that game last night?
Well, obviously, it was a tremendous finish. The Pacers have been very hot. They've won 7 out of 8 games, and a handful of those games they've been behind in the last 20 seconds and pulled stuff like this off. So basketball karma kind of returned the favor, but this was really a game where the Lakers got away with another subpar defensive effort. The story for this team since the trade has really been their defense. Luka has gotten a lot better, his legs underneath him. Coming off of that calf injury, he's got 4 straight 30-point games, and when you look at the highlights, you're going to remember those. But the Lakers have been losing games recently because they haven't been getting stops, and they were very much in danger of losing this game because they couldn't get stops. As well as Luka played and the clutch shots he hit down the stretch, He got torched 3 straight times on defense in the last about 70 or 80 seconds of this game. And had LeBron not done that tip in, I would be focusing on the fact that over the last 11 games, they're 23rd in the league in defense. Obviously, before that, and especially before LeBron had that groin injury, they were winning all those games with their defense. So, Cass, they definitely are still playing my turn, your turn on offense with LeBron, Reeves, and Luka a little bit. You can see JJ working through some sets, trying to get them into things. But this team's chances of making an extended run are going to be about whether they can defend. And their defense just hasn't been great over this last stretch.
Yeah, Wendy's absolutely right. That LeBron tip-in saved us from really having a lot of noise about this Lakers defense that was so good for a while coming out of that trade and has really struggled lately. Now, in fairness to them, the schedule's been unbelievably hectic with the games having to be rescheduled. LeBron has been out. He's just coming back. But this is a team that overachieved by a lot on the defensive end. And give them credit for scheme, give them credit for playing hard.
For a long while.
Yeah.
For a long while. And there was some luck in there in terms of opponent three-point shooting, but this is a flawed roster from a defensive perspective. They don't have a true rim protector. They're closing games with Dorian Finney-Smith at the 5. And look, Luka Dončić, if you protect him in the right kind of scheme, he can be an effective part of the team defense. They don't have the pieces around him, and we know Luka is going to struggle on the perimeter, and he's going to have to pick and choose when to use his energy, how to use his energy when he has the ball that much. And if he's picking and choosing, he's usually going to choose when
and he
he's got
doesn't
the
have
Rockets.
Lively and Gafford.
That's right.
Rick Carlisle is, of course, Luka's former head coach in Dallas. We saw him chirping, as you pointed out.
Was there a chapter in your book on that?
You detailed, their relationship in your book. How would you describe that dynamic as it stands?
Well, my understanding is time has healed some of the wounds, but this was a relationship that was cracked, literally the foundation of it cracked 1 week into Luka's career. There was a disastrous team meeting in a hotel ballroom in Toronto. They'd blown a 26-point lead the night before in Atlanta, Trae Young versus Luka. Mavs blow it, and Carlisle flipped out. He accuses Dennis Smith Jr. of being jealous of Luka. They were buddies. They were friends. He goes off on the whole team to the point where DeAndre Jordan, the guy who left the Mavs at the free agency altar a few years ago, was also a week into his Dallas stint, stands up, Coach, you can't talk just like that.
Whoa.
That relationship was cracked from that point. It was strained throughout. Now, having said all that, Luka did benefit playing for Rick Carlisle, one of the most brilliant offensive minds in particular, certainly in the league now, and I would argue in NBA history. And Rick recognized the talent and didn't only give him the keys and give him the ball, but built an offense around him and allowed this guy's ascent to superstardom.
If he's still the coach, is Luka still in Dallas?
We can go down that rabbit hole. I actually think there's a really good chance because Nico Harrison, the guy who got rid of Luka, was hired to work specifically with Jason Kidd. If there's not Kidd coaching, I'm not sure they bring in Nico. Speculative,
Sliding
but
doors.
interesting.
Speaking of rabbit holes, there are a lot of rabbit holes to go down in your new book, which is out again this week, The Wonder Boy. Check it out. All right, we've got some breaking news just about a couple moments ago. Here is NBA Commissioner Adam Silver at the Board of Governors meeting on the potential of creating a new league in Europe.
We just concluded 2 days of our Board of Governors meetings, but one of the central topics was opportunities that we've been looking at to continue to develop basketball in Europe. And I'm particularly pleased today, along with my colleague Andreas, to announce that we're ready to go to the next stage, and that is to explore a potential league in Europe with FIBA as our partners.
So, Brian, what are your first impressions hearing about this potential new league in partnership with FIBA?
Yeah, they're moving the ball a little bit forward. This is the FIBA Secretary General that is with Adam Silver there. He addressed the owners last fall at their last big meeting. The important thing, I think, for the casual fan here is this is not putting NBA teams in Europe. This would be creating a league that is run by the NBA in Europe, For decades, the European leagues have produced great players like Jokic and Dončić, but have underachieved economically and underachieved with their fan bases. What the NBA sees is they see an opportunity to potentially move into places like London, to Paris, to Berlin, and potentially create a league. But it's not a done deal. The owners have not signed off on it yet. But I will say that when the NBA commissioner wants something to happen, and very clearly he wants it to happen, it probably will happen. Also, Adam Silver said today, NBA expansion, meaning Las Vegas and Seattle, is still not on the table. It's something that they're still pushing off. They're more focused on creating a league in Europe right now than they are expanding in the NBA. I still think we're going to see NBA expansion, but I think you're going to see European expansion, again, with a different league happening first.
Interesting. I mean, moving forward with exploring, we're just at the beginning of this.